Hi, my name is McDaniel. We are continuing our series on the truth about the creation account. Our topic again will be on the lights of the firmament, part 8b, which is the second of our four-part lesson on the lights in the firmament. As we indicated from our last Bible study, there is a correlation between the light being divided on the first day, the firmament creating a vertical separation of the waters from below and the waters from above on the second day, and the mandate of a horizontal division of the seas and dry land on the third day. Our focus today will be on the earth and its controversial shape and role regarding God's placement of the sun, moon, and stars in the firmament on day 4. When we recall how God issued a sovereign decree for the dry land to surface, the waters gathered into one place. Water was one of the raw materials with solid matter from which God created the earth. When the waters gathered into one place, then the dry land surfaced in the other place. Some Bible scholars would have us believe that the earth existed before day 1. If that was the case, then it would have presented a problem with the movement of tectonic plates when God divided the waters from the waters to create the firmament on the second day. Of course, God manipulated the dry land through tremendous chemical reactions of great movement, upheavals, differential heating pressures, and other supernatural forces in order to bring about the physical features of the earth's landscape and landforms, which included the earth's crust, mantle, and core. Geologists and scientists say that the Earth's landscape may have been one land mass with several layers of solid matter, which is called a supercontinent, that resulted in today's continents. Only lately have our geologists and scientists visited this concept of one supercontinent that science has called Pangea, by putting together a theory on plate tectonics, which we will not address. With the evidence that the earth has order, beauty, design, and balance, we can deduce from the scriptures that God is the uncreated creator and the uncaused first cause and intelligent designer carefully designed the earth. The earth was not haphazardly thrown together, but supernaturally weighed, measured, and balanced. Isaiah 40, verse 12 states that who had measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out heaven within the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance. When I consider this verse, it tells me that only God, as the uncreated creator and uncaused first cause, had the power, knowledge, and wisdom that waters could be held in the hollow of his hand, as if confined in a container. Only God could stretch out the heavens as if he was pulling a piece of cloth by his hand. Only God could measure dust, which is virtually nothing, in the air with his few fingers, to be everything that he wanted it to be. Notice carefully that the earth's surfaces appeared above the waters, while the waters were interconnected with an intricate network of reservoirs which connected all the waters. Earth systems science informs us that the earth itself has 6 main spheres that are crucial to all life forms, in which our atmosphere is one of them, that consists of a gaseous layer of air that encloses the earth. Our biosphere consists of all living things that exist in our world. The anthrosphere includes all the places and things that we as humans have built and constructed on the earth. The hydrosphere is the interconnected system of all liquid water on the earth. The lithosphere is the solid portion of the earth that consists of crusts and various layers of the earth's interior. The psychosphere includes all of the frozen or cold solid water of the earth, such as all snow, ice, glaciers, icebergs, and the Arctic climate. The anthrosphere is the system of humanity, which include all places and things that humans have built and constructed, such as the streets, highways, buildings to our cities, and farm fields in our rural areas. Every man-made creation, as well as man himself, is a part of the anthrosphere, which are all dependent on each other and interconnected. Any change in one sphere will affect the others. Again, I think it is important to remind you that there is a false science perpetuated by evolutionists, and there is a true science. We believe that true science can tell us a great deal about the world in which we live in. We also believe that the Bible does not contradict reasonably interpreted and accurately observed scientific data. In fact, the Bible goes beyond science and asserts law, order, beauty, design, and balance with interdependency between the universe and the heavens and the earth, which only an intelligent designer can create outside of the universe itself. The universe was God's grand design, which he planned with complexity and great details, which baffles our scientists even to this day. The Bible provides a description of the earth, but the language in the Bible is also very perplexing regarding how the earth appears. First and foremost, it is important that we understand that the ancient Hebrew language had only a few thousand words at the most, in comparison to our English language today that may consist of 1 million or more words. It will be important for us to be careful not to read meanings into Bible texts that are not there to fit our beliefs, our particular stance, or even modern science. We must let the scriptures speak for themselves. What we should keep in mind is that God inspired the writers to use the words that they did. It appears that ancient Hebrews described what they saw in picture language, such as the sunset, sunrise, evening, morning, compass, circuit, circle, and so forth. In the given world at that time, the ancient Hebrews did not have specialized fields which had their own terminology. Therefore, they expressed themselves according to the language of their time. In fact, in the Hebrew language, there are certain word concepts that were not used, such as finite or infinite physical space and or universe. We cannot call the Hebrews primitive and or naive because they did not have specific words for basic concepts in their language. When God had Moses write Genesis in the Hebrew language of his day, the people understood perfectly what he was talking about. Based on this information, I would like to introduce a few scriptures that addresses the shape of the earth, which is pertinent to the location, placement, and movement of our forthcoming sun, moon, and stars. Job 28:24 states, "For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heavens." Psalms 19 verses 4 through 6 proclaim, "Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from one end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof." Daniel 4 verses 10 and 11 assert, "Thus were the visions of my head in my bed. I saw and behold a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth." Matthew 4:8 indicated, "Again, the devil taketh him," Jesus, "up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them." In the Hebrew language, the word for circle is chug. According to various writers, this word translates the concept of something round, rounded, or dome-shaped, and can be applied to a spherical shape. One writer proclaimed that chug is not used in the Bible to describe a flat circle or a disc. We cannot take what people wish this word to mean and then state that is how it was used by the writers of the Bible. The Hebrew word for a flat circle, by the way, is kabab. The point is, according to this unknown writer, is that the Bible does not call the earth a flat circle or a disc. The debate is this. In any case, others are saying the earth is not spherical. According to the scriptures, from a very high spot, heaven for example, one could see the entire earth, such that nothing would be hidden. If the earth was spherical, this would not be possible, for the opposite side of the earth can't be seen directly. So this implies that the earth is flat. From a great distance, a sphere would look like a circle. There is a possibility that the phrase circle of the earth may refer to the outline of the earth. But when you really think about the above scriptures, how can someone see all the kingdoms of the world, which would make the back hemisphere of the earth to remain hidden? Let us look at some additional scriptures. We must keep in mind that God, as the uncreated creator and uncaused first cause, had a plan in his mind, and he is the intelligent designer. So what we don't understand, we must wait until God provides us wisdom. Psalm 136:6 proclaims, "To him that stretched out the earth above the waters, for his mercy endureth forever." Isaiah 44:24 state, "Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord, that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself." Let's logically deduce what these scriptures are saying. We have been taught from our school system that the earth is round and or spherical. However, if the earth was spherical, one would use a verb other than spread out to describe the earth. Other words could have been chosen. Since the scriptures state that the earth was spread out, it must be flat. We will not be discussing the extent of the earth as given in the scriptures, but I do have scriptures available. What I would like us to understand at this point is that the Bible writers used the language of appearance to convey what they understood. In the Hebrew language, there is no key word concept for the word sphere, which is a three-dimensional circle. Again, the writers of the Bible use language of appearance. And when I researched the word chug, one writer stated that the word does not refer exclusively to the shape we call circle. While the Bible does not explicitly state that the earth is flat, Old Testament verses clearly show that the ancient Hebrews believed that the earth was flat. When we take in consideration that the firmament, which is our atmosphere, covers the earth, and the sun, moon, and stars will be placed in the firmament, this makes no sense unless we assume that the earth is essentially flat. Also, when we consider the New Testament, that the devil took Jesus to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in their glory, this very statement implies a flat earth. The only way that anyone can see all the kingdoms of the world is if the earth is flat. Then in the book of Revelation, we are told there are four corners of the earth which are generally not associated with spheres. According to ancient Hebrews, the conception of the world was that the world was large, flat, a circular disc, anchored in water below. In essence, when we read Isaiah 40:22, it refers to the horizon of the earth, which is very obviously perceived as a circle, since it can be seen in 360 degrees from most anywhere on the earth. In ancient Near Eastern conceptions, this circle would refer to the flat earth disc and not to a sphere. Proverbs 8:27 reads, "When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the deep." In examining the word compass, the word can mean a circular enclosure or a spherical envelope. Since the verse speaks of an extended area, the spherical envelope is a better interpretation than the circular enclosure. The word indicates boundaries being set, but notice now, but nothing contextually demands a perfect circular shape. When we look at the word circuit in Job 22:14, there is no particular reason why this should or should not be a circle. Altogether, the word is used only 3 times in the Old Testament, and not once does the context clearly demand a shape of any particularity or regularity. And a root word in Job 26:10 describes the encompassment of waters without further description. Thus, there is no basis for connecting the word to a modern compass. All available physical evidence supports a flat earth, especially when one looks at the earth from the highest possible mountain. There is disagreement among scientists regarding the shape of the world. Some are saying that the world is not round and that it is an oblate spheroid, while others are saying that the earth is flat. The circular world states that technically the earth is an oblate spheroid that deviates just slightly by being larger around the equator. Most scientists who believe that the earth is an oblate spheroid also says it is a flattened one. And then they add to their statement that it is a spheroid, but not a flat object. The very fact that they say it is a flattened spheroid says a lot. Therefore, we have to be careful when we assume that the text is saying that the earth is in the shape of a circle and or spheroid. All physical evidence supports a flat earth with a flat horizon. Thus, the Bible does not necessarily teach a flat earth, although in essence, the scriptures talk about a flat earth, pillars, corners, and foundations. As we close this Bible study lesson, I would like to present to you the latest scientific evidence that confirms that the earth has 4 corners. This information was published in the Science newsletter in June 1995, which states, the earth has 4 corners. Measurements made of earth-circling satellites have shown. The high points each cover several thousand square miles of the earth's surface. They are 220 feet higher than they would be if the earth was exactly spherical. One of the earth's high points centers over Ireland in the northern hemisphere and sprawls northward toward the pole. Another extends across the equator from New Guinea northward toward Japan. A third corner is south of Africa, centered about halfway to Antarctica, and the fourth corner of the pyramid is west of South America with a high point off Peru. The new figure for the earth was found by scientists at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Silver Spring, Maryland, working under a contract for the United States Navy's Bureau of Navy Weapons. Dr. Robert R. Newton, with Drs. William Gear and George C. Wiffenbach, directed the studies. When we continue our lesson on the lights in the firmament, part 8C, we will discuss the imaginary axis of the earth and its movements. Until then, see you next time. Thank you for joining God's Grace Ministries. God's Grace Ministries is a bi-monthly, 24-minute program released on the 2nd and 4th Saturday of each month at 9 o'clock p.m. Please subscribe. You will be encouraged, challenged, and inspired by the Word of God. You can call for CDs for $10 and DVDs for $15 at 231-894-0091. Thank you for joining us, and see you